Welcome to the Mount Pleasant podcast, featuring discussions and interviews about the people, places, and events that make Mount Pleasant such a special place.
This is the Mount Pleasant podcast. I'm your host, Brian Cleary, and all thanks to the great people of Mount Pleasant Magazine, I get the honor, the privilege of introducing you to Mount Pleasant, the people who make it such a special place to do business, to work, and even to live. We're introducing you to Mount Pleasant's best on the Mount Pleasant podcast. It happened earlier this year, the town of Mount Pleasant opening up a new entertainment venue called the Venue MTP. It's off Johnny Dodds Boulevard. If you know where the Aldi Plaza is, at the other end of that plaza where the Aldi is where you'll find the Venue MTP. And it's our subject today here on the Mount Pleasant podcast. The artistic director with the venue is joining us today. She is Keely Enright. Keely, let's start here. Not everybody's familiar with the venue. How is it you would describe it to them?
It's an art center for our community, something that we were sorely lacking here in Mount Pleasant. So we partnered with the town of Mount Pleasant to bring our citizens and our guests here east of the Cooper a vibrant art center where they can experience anything from music to dance to theater. And it's really for all ages. Oftentimes, I think when you're in a suburban area, people immediately hear art center and they assume that that's something for children. And in our instance, while we love children and there is programming for children, the vital and most important aspect of the Venue MTP is that this is something that was sorely lacking in our community for our adult population. There just isn't a place for culture, arts, both fine art and performing art, where our citizens and visitors can expect high quality arts and culture offerings. So that was our goal. And we've been working on it hard, and that's what we're bringing with the Venue MTP to our community.
So there are performances that will go on at the venue, but there's some unique opportunities. Hopefully that's the good word to describe, because there's a lot going on in terms of what the building itself offers and what you guys have set up as well.
Sure. So it's 9,000 square feet. It is, as you said, at the East Cooper Plaza, which is right now known as the spot where Aldi is. We're at the far end, left end of the property. We've got 9,000 square feet. So not only do we have a beautiful main stage assembly area, but we also have a black box space, classroom space, and a wonderful studio that is a dance room. It's got wonderful cushioned floors and mirrors, as well as our beautiful lobby where we're expecting to do a lot of art shows. It's a great gallery space. So really, we've got this wonderful, unique hybrid that allows us to provide a various menu of arts offerings for our community.
So the full name is the Venue MTP Cultural Arts Stage. So we've got a lot going on, performances, some we're going to talk about coming up. But for folks who are part of the Mount Pleasant community, there's an opportunity for Mount Pleasant residents to actually use the venue themselves, is there not?
We're putting classes together. As I was saying, we would be meeting there now, but there is a 55 and older improv class happening in the main stage. So we're really excited about that. Theater 99 has come over. We're partnering with Theater 99, of course, the famous improv company from downtown Charleston, and they're bringing classes over. So adults, middle schoolers, they will be doing their first main stage show, leaving Theater 99 downtown and coming to the Venue MTP on March 12th. So we're really excited to have them over. And of course, the space is also the home of the Village Repertory Company. And the Village Repertory Company is celebrating its 25th season here in Mount Pleasant, or in the Lowcountry, I should say. We started in Mount Pleasant. And so right now, the stage offering that's happening at this moment, along with classes, is Something Rotten, the Broadway musical that we opened last Friday night. It runs for the next 3 weekends. So there's a lot going on. Drama, we've got dance classes coming in, but we want the place to be busy and we want it to have opportunities for classes, yes, but we want that calendar to be filled with opportunities for our residents and visitors to see and experience what's going on.
This is where the pages of Mount Pleasant Magazine come alive, the Mount Pleasant podcast. I'm Brian Cleary. Get to dig a little deeper than maybe the magazine goes in talking to people, places, and talking about things in Mount Pleasant. Today, we're joined by the artistic director of the Venue MTP. Keely Enright is our guest today. And Keely, you mentioned the Village Repertory folks. How is it that they, shall we say, migrated? That you were downtown Charleston, now making your home in Mount Pleasant. What happened for that to come about?
It's a long, complicated story, but we started off for the first 12 years. The Village Repertory Company was in residence in Mount Pleasant. It was Mount Pleasant's professional arts, theater arts organization. And in 2012, the Village Repertory had outgrown its original space. Many people might remember original Village Playhouse on Coleman Boulevard. And Village Rep outgrew that space, ended up moving downtown, renovating an old ice house on Wolf Street, known as Wolf Street Playhouse. Beautiful, old, gorgeous old ice house. But Village Rep lost that space during COVID in 2020. So it's been a long journey back. The community really had a hole. When Village Rep left Mount Pleasant and migrated downtown, it left a hole where performing arts needed to be filled. So we were really excited when the opportunity to sort of partner the Venue MTP and the Village Rep happened. So it's a new home for the Village Rep to do their seasonal offerings. They bring 25 years of professional quality theater programming and all their patrons into the doors throughout the year. And then we program various things at the Venue MTV around their season.
So Keely, you mentioned the fact season 25 for the Village Repertory. Folks, Something Rotten is something that people can experience through March 7th. Tell me a little bit about what this performance is about.
So Something Rotten is a hilarious musical comedy. It originated on Broadway in 2015 to awards and accolades. It is the first time that a regional company is doing it here in Charleston. So we're very excited. It is a huge, very funny musical, sort of a spoof and takeoff on Shakespeare. Takes place in the days of Shakespeare. And the story is that two writers can't get their work produced because Shakespeare gets to produce everything. And they come up with the very first musical. And while the premise is so silly, I can't tell you what a joyful, delightful, fun, effervescent musical it is. We've got tap dancing, we've got singing and dancing, 25 people on stage, plus a full live band. So it is a ball. The audience, as I said, they were on their feet this weekend. And we urge everybody to come. And if you are looking for a good time right now, Something Rotten is what you need to see.
In 1982, it was East Cooper Magazine. Now it's Mount Pleasant Magazine. Mount Pleasant Magazine is about the people, places, and events that make Mount Pleasant a great place to live, work, and raise a family. Your community, your magazine. Mount Pleasant Magazine.
You're listening to the Mount Pleasant Podcast.
If you could, Keely, give me an idea. So this is season 25. How many performances is generally in a season? And then when you get a performance, like the current one, Something's Rotten, how many weeks, how many shows will there be for people to experience?
Well, season 25, because Village Rep was waiting for the Venue MTP to get its occupancy. It's a short season for the Village Rep, just 3 stage plays. Village Rep opened with The Games Afoot right before Christmas time as the inaugural production inside the Venue MTP, a comedy mystery whodunit that played for 4 weekends. Generally, Village Rep shows run 10 to 12 performances. Something Rotten is 10 performances running over 4 weekends. And then the third part of this season's offering is a wonderful classic drama, Lillian Hellman drama titled Watch on the Rhine. So what the Village Rep does is brings you every season a real plethora of various genres. It's something for everyone, we'd like to say. So if you love a drama, we're going to get you a drama. If you're nothing but comedy, wonderful. If you love a musical, we've got that too.
And so the performers who are part of, whether it's Something Rotten or if they're part of the Village Repertory Company. So are we talking about, for the most part, local folks on stage?
So the Village Repertory Company is a professional arts organization with professional performers on stage. But these professional performers do make their home in Charleston. That's always been incredibly important to us, that people come to Charleston for various reasons. But as you and I know, they come to Charleston and Mount Pleasant and our surrounding communities for the quality of life. So we have the most talented people who have worked on stages all around the world who choose to live in Charleston. And we advocate and we bring those people to our stages.
So someone who's watching, listening to our podcast is thinking Something Rotten, something I want to check out. How do I go about getting tickets for a performance at the Venue MTP?
So right now, the easiest way to get Something Rotten tickets is to go to villagerep.com. So villagerep.com. You can also go to the Venue MTP's website and you can get them that way. So you can also go to thevenuemtp.com. So both of those are available to you to purchase tickets right now. Either way works. It's going to take you to that ticket site and get you booked and get you in to see the show.
It's another feather in the hat of the town of Mount Pleasant. It's the Venue MTP Culture Art Stage, and it's open now, and it's something that you should experience. This is Brian Cleary today on the Mount Pleasant Podcast. We're going deeper than we normally can in the pages of Mount Pleasant Magazine as we talk to Keely Enright. Keely is the artistic director at the Venue MTP, and Keely, artistic director. How do you describe that title? What is it that you do?
Artistic director's job is really to curate the season, figure out what any given year is going to look like. What are the stories we want to tell? What are the topics that we want to explore? What do we feel like our particular community is either needing or wanting or maybe don't know? So you really have the responsibility when you curate a season as an artistic director is to figure out what is it that's going to bring the most joy or information or joie de vivre to the people in our community. And I think that's the most important thing we do. We tell stories. As a storyteller, I'm not just telling one story a year, I'm telling many. And sometimes they weave together. Sometimes there's a theme. Other times it's sort of just what is the vibe that we're trying to put together. And after 25 years, I am the founding artistic director. You kind of go with the vibe every year.
Talk a little bit about your background, Keely. Were you an actress? Are you a writer? Do you have musical talents? What is it that has blended in to what you used to do in the past to now be this artistic director?
So I'm originally from California. I was a theater major at UCLA a good long time ago, and I produced theater in Los Angeles right out of college. So I'm very fortunate in that I got a lot of early experience in small professional theater. As a young woman in my early 20s, got an opportunity to work with some of the most talented folks out in Los Angeles in those days. And at one point, I decided I wanted a total life change. I moved my entire life to Charleston, South Carolina. I didn't know much about it other than I knew it was beautiful. And I thought I'd be here for a few years, do something different. And I've been here 30. So I decided once I came to Charleston that I wanted to continue to pursue theater. And that shocks people when I tell them back home. They always think, why Charleston? But I fell in love with the city and I wanted to continue to do what I'd loved so much in college and right after college. So I created opportunities to make that happen once I got here.
So that kind of takes the luster off my next question. How did you get to Charleston? That's a great story to just be able to pick up and say, this is where I'm going, one coast to the other. And
one
obviously
coast to the other. I love the ocean. I wasn't going to be able to get far from the ocean. But then when I got to Charleston, and it's really hard, Californians, certainly back in those days, I always say they don't know past Texas. So South Carolina, that's a world away. But I have brought many friends here over the years, and they're always charmed by the beauty of the area.
So take me through a night at the Venue. I'm going to go online, going to order my tickets up for Something Rotten. Mm-hmm. So when I head into the stage area, so people understand, is this like the North Charleston Performing Arts Center, rows of seats? Are we talking tables? Am I able to get food and drink? What's my experience going to be along with the performance?
It's still an intimate space. So you'll come into the beautiful new gallery lobby area, and you'll head into the main assembly room. We're seating about 150 to 200 people. Every show is different. The seating is different. For the last show, it was mostly cabaret, so little tables. And this one, we've gone a little bit more traditional, but I also say, when I say traditional, it's also interactive. The performers are all around you. There is a lovely bar inside the main theater. So it's very comfortable and cozy. So you can always get a beverage inside. We don't have food, but we do have beer, wine, soft drinks, water, and it's all right there. So you don't have to go out to the lobby. It really creates a neighborhood space. When you get inside, you're going to realize it's a great place. You're going to see friends. You're going to see folks that you know from around town. And it feels like a comfortable neighborhood space.
I have to think that's pretty cool. Like from the audience standpoint, being intimate with the performance, but that would have to work both ways for the performers, right?
Oh, yeah. I believe in that. And when I started the Village Repertory Company, I wanted to do classic works and big pieces reimagined in an intimate environment. Because I think sometimes theater, if you're not a regular theater goer or you didn't grow up that way, that it feels foreign, it feels formal, it doesn't feel like it's going to touch you. And we always wanted to make it an up close and personal experience. And it transforms people because it doesn't feel like you're in a stuffy auditorium or you're at somebody's PTA meeting. It is about the experience and you are in it. It just makes for a delightful evening.
Can you take me through the process as you look forward, say, to season 26? It might be easy to just say, okay, we're going to do Oklahoma, Fiddler on the Roof. Your company and similars like this, there always tends to be just a little off kilter. It's not your mainstream, but these are still engaging performances.
Yes, I like to do things that are off the mainstream, as you'd say. Part of what we want to do is usually quirky's maybe too harsh of a word, but something that's a little bit off kilter, or we'd like to do classic plays that people maybe don't know that well or older, and we reimagine them in a new way so that people have a new take on something that they think they knew. I try not to do things that are being done in every city around the United States at any given time. You have to be careful though. And people don't know what they think they're going to like. You know, you do a lot of guessing, hoping that what you put out there is going to resonate. But I really do think hard about things that are relevant to our community. I think that's really important. Or something that's going to, again, be uplifting in a way that people didn't think about. So I haven't put together all of the season 26 since you were asking me, but I've got about another 2 weeks before I finalize it. Always something going on, always something looking forward. So let's look forward a little bit. The Venue MTP just opened at the beginning of the year. You talked about the holiday performance, Christmas performance. What is it that you see the future, a year or 2 years down the road? What's the successful thing where you're going to be able to look and go, yes, this is what I was hoping to accomplish? Success is just going to be a vibrant, full space where the folks that are in there are excited to be there, where they can't wait to tell their friends, where they can't wait to come to the next thing. So far, so good. We're off and running. And that we're also offering wonderful classes, a diverse offering of classes from little kids to lifelong learners and everything in the middle. This is a space that is also available for private events. We didn't talk about that, but it is. We love anniversary parties. We love birthday parties or wedding receptions. And this is a great space for those things as well for our community. And so looking back a year from now will be, how full is our calendar? How many folks did we get in the door, and how many folks are thrilled that this space is now here in our town? It really is a terrific facility, just has so much potential, so much to offer. So if someone is interested in having their anniversary party, wedding reception, or something different there, how should they go about it? What's the first step for them to take? First step is the email they want to send to info@thevenuemtp.com to get a hold of us. Then we're going to schedule a sort of a meet and a tour of the facility. I'm very hands-on. So if people who are wanting to do classes or have a party, we want to walk you through there and help you envision what do you see doing in the space and how it would best serve your need. And we've got Something Rotten on stage now through March 7th. One more program that'll be part of season 25. What is that, and when will that open? It is Lillian Hellman's Watch on the Rhine, a brilliant drama set at the cusp of World War II, and we're really excited about it. The dates are April 17th through May 9th. So that also will run a good long 10 performances there. Very different from the first two. Again, trying to curate, get everybody's needs met. We're really wonderfully excited about it. A play that hasn't been done in a long time, and I don't believe has ever been done in our community. Something for us to look forward to a little down the road. But right now, Something Rotten is where you need to focus. Keely, we've got a few performances left of that. If I want to grab tickets, again, where do I go? You want to go to villagerep.com. That's your fastest way to grab a ticket to Something Rotten. She is the artistic director of the Venue MTP Culture Art Stage. It's a new facility that we're proud to have as part of the Mount Pleasant community. Keely Enright, thanks for your time today. Thank you so much. It was great to be with you. We love showcasing Mount Pleasant's best. It's what we do in the pages of Mount Pleasant Magazine and what we do here with me, Brian Cleary, on the Mount Pleasant Podcast. Thanks for spending your time with the Mount Pleasant Podcast. Your community, your podcast. Listen to past and future episodes at mountpleasantpodcast.com.